When Pokemon Legends Z-A was announced, I was very excited. We were finally getting Pokemon Z, the game that was a mystery why it just didn't happen, you know? It should have happened and it didn't, and we were finally getting it. And I also happened to predict that Pokemon Z would be the next game, so I did predict Pokemon Legends Z-A, I will say. So that was pretty cool. But then, a year later, they show off the first gameplay trailer for the game. And I just wasn't excited. I wasn't hyped for it. It didn't give me the excitement I was hoping to get, you know? The fact that the game took place in Lumio City, that's it, like just a city. That's never been done before. And the starter choices were weird. Chikorita, Tepig, Totodile, it's like 2 Johtos and a Unova, like what? Mega Pokemon were back, which, was cool. And obvious, because we're going back to Kalos. And the only really redeeming factor, the only thing that made me go like, okay, was the fact that there's going to be real-time battles. Because this is the first time Pokemon has ever really changed, like fully changed, its battle system. Legends Arceus did it a little bit, but it was still just turn-based, This was a big change. Like, this is a big thing, going from turn-based to real-time. So that made me interested. And right away, of course, besides my love for Pokemon, that aspect, even though the game wasn't really making me hype, I knew I was going to end up buying it because of the new battle system. I have to try it out for myself. And then they finally showed us something new in July with Mega Dragonite, and it's like, okay, this is what we want to. This is what I want to see. Some new shit, because they went forever without showing anything. And Dragonite's one of my favorite Pokemon, and Mega Dragonite was just something that should have existed by now. And yes, his design is a little goofy, but Mega designs are usually either a hit, mid, or a miss. That's usually how they are. That's how they were fucking over 10 years ago, and that's how they still are. But okay, the hype was starting to build. I was starting to get more excited. Then they Mega Victory Bell, and then all the gameplay started to release from the demo. And I was watching the gameplay. It was making me excited. I'm like, okay, all right, we're seeing some new shit, And I started to get more hype for it. I started, you know what? Okay, this could be something, The game releases, and in all honesty, it's a real good time, It's a fun game, but sadly, there was so much missed potential, and that's just how current Pokemon games have been. Sadly. Even with Legends Arceus, which is a great game. And I believe Legends Arceus is a better game than this game. But there was still some missed potential in Legends Arceus as well, It's unfortunate. Like, the only thing that really made the game fun was the new battle system. It was something new, something different. I had to actually learn it, and I will never knock down game developers for trying something new, trying something different, especially in a series where every game is the exact same. It's just different a little bit, like not even different at all. It's just they just change it up a little. So I applaud trying new things. I'm really down for that, and it made ZA fresh, But it could not mask all the issues it had. It could not. And I'm not saying the game is not bad. It's a good game. It's a good time. It's a good time. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not really gonna revisit it. Really. Once I'm done with it, I don't think I'm gonna really revisit it much. And it's just kind of something I'm just going to be like, okay, yeah, that happened, Introduce us to this new battle system, which I do think is going to be the new battle system going forward. This game didn't feel like a Pokemon adventure. it just felt like a testing ground for the real-time battles. And yeah, it's a little frustrating because, again, this game could have been so much better. The other things that I liked in the game, you know, like the megas, you know, of course, listen, I'm always down for new megas. Mega is the only gimmick that actually, you know, was cool, that I felt actually added something to the game and to certain Pokemon. You know, Z moves and Dynamax just suck. You know, it's like they're cool to watch at first, but then it's just like, this is just stupid. Like when it actually comes to battles and stuff, like they're broken. And then Terra is Terra is a cool concept. You know, changing your type on the fly. But Terra, like visually, it's just not cool. You know, it's just not a cool thing. But the changing your type is pretty cool. Megas in this game, you know, I think they picked really good Pokemon to have a Mega Evolution. So I think they did a great job at that. Of course, though, most of the Pokemon are not Pokemon I personally like, you know. So I didn't get too many of my favorite Pokemon. Just Dragonite really is the only Pokemon, and now Baxcalibur. Fuck, which is that's cool. But there's a lot of cool ones, like Scolipede is really cool Mega Evolution. You know, my team, I used the Barbargle because Barbargle's like I don't know, he wormed his ugly mug wormed his way into my heart. You know, there's a whole history to that, but he's my ugly barnacle, you know, and I used him because he got a new Mega. I thought Electros getting a Mega was cool. Excadrill getting a Mega was cool. Oh yeah, and then Starmie's Mega was, oh, what the fuck was that, man? I don't know what the fuck that is, shit. God. The problem with Megas in this game is that you can't make full use of them because there's no abilities. And the whole one of the best things about Megas is knowing what ability they have. What ability are they gonna get? You know, what are they gonna give them? Like Electros would have been much better in this game if he had Levitate, but he doesn't. And I'm sure Mega Electros also has Levitate, because I don't know why they would take that away from him. My Electros, which usually would have been much better, was not like he would die to ground moves, and you know, yeah, it just wouldn't work out for him sometimes. I couldn't get a lot of opportunities to really use him well. That is the big downside to Megas in this game, and how they could be a little bit underwhelming. Another great thing about the game is the music. The music is awesome. I love how they got Insane in the Rain, a YouTuber who does jazz arrangements. They got him to do some songs. That was one of the best decisions they could make. A lot of the battle themes are really good. And a lot of just the music in general. Like, very good. But Pokemon music is always good. Like, I can't think of a game that had bad music. I really can't. I nutted to the Lumio City night theme like 5 million times while playing this game. Nighttime would come and I would just, my whole keyboard, my whole computer setup just covered. But where the game really misses the mark, I'd say, is the setting, the story, the plot. Those go hand in hand. And some just decisions that they did and did not make. Characters, you know, characters were alright. Like, it's very hard to figure out what this game was trying to be and what it was trying to do. You know, because like the setting, like Lumio City, well, you know, something different. We never had a game that took place only in the city. But my concern with that was it wouldn't be different enough. You know, like most of what I'm looking at will be the same, and it was. That's exactly what it was. Every section of the city looks the exact same, just like different colored roofs, barely. And yeah, you have the ground floor of the city, and you have the wild zones. You know, like okay, where the wild Pokemon are, but they're just part of the city. Then you have the rooftops. You know, you climb up onto the roof, but like finding Pokemon on the roof was just kind of odd. I don't know why there was a Dratini on the roof and a Larvitar on the roof. How the fuck did they get up there? I don't know. I don't know, but it's just very weird to me. And I guess that's the whole point of this game. Like, you're supposed to be finding Pokemon in their unnatural habitat rather than a natural habitat, like in Legends Arceus. I see like what they were trying to do. I just don't think it's a good fit. It just felt weird. And then like, you know, they have a little sewer area where you can go. And that's all right. I mean, it's not big, you know. If it was the same size as the city, then I'd say, okay, that's a more substantial layer. You know, because it's important. If you're going to have a game in the city, you have to have layers, you know. You have to have layers to it. And, yeah, I think the sewer should have been a little bigger. I just wasn't a big fan of the city environment. But well, what I will applaud, which goes hand in hand with the real-time battle system, is battles very seamless. Like, that's another great thing about this game. Everything is so seamless. Like, and again, the real-time battle system was really fun to learn and to know. And the only thing is, you know, it definitely needs to be improved. It definitely can be better. But I like the direction they're going with it. And I really wouldn't mind if they made this the main type of battle going in the near future, you know, like going into the future games. Especially since we have Pokemon Champions coming out. You know, I like it. It's different, you know, but they gotta work on it. But the best thing about it is how seamless it is. Going, like, the wild battles are super seamless. You know, the music isn't the dumb, like, music from Scarlet and Violet where, like, they took the theme of the area and, like, made it, like, added bass to it. Like, no, like it's an actual, like, wild battle theme. Thank God. It was fun enough where I immediately started playing the game, and I already had a more fun of a time with this game than I had with Scarlet and Violet, so it was already better than those piece of shits. So, God, oh, those games are shit. And then you had the trainer battles, which was a big part of the game, the Z-A Battle Royale. And the trainer battles, you know, again, very seamless. I mean, the way that you can sneak up on the trainers and stuff, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they're looking right at me, but they can't see me. And they see my Pokemon walking towards them, but that doesn't set off any alarms or anything. Like, my Pokemon just walk up and one-shot theirs. And it's just like, oh, okay. So I think they should have went a little bit more hardcore with that sort of thing, with what they were doing in this game. Because trainers were kind of a joke. They really, like, trainers are always a joke. But in this game, trainers were a joke, and trainer battles are a big part of this game. So it eventually just got really stale. You know, even like the main trainers, like most of them just use one type of Pokemon. So again, it just became stale after a while. Like once I got used to the battle system and stuff, it's just like, you know, it was just very easy, no challenge at all. I'm just one-shotting fucking everything. So, you know, again, you don't play Pokemon for difficulty. You don't. But I do have to say it. And I feel like in a lot of ways, the trainer battle thing, like, while it is cool and it allows you to progress the story at your own speed, you kind of just have to do the same thing a bunch of times, which is what Pokemon is, right? That's what you do. But it felt more monotonous, you know, in this game than it does when, like, you're going to the first gym, then the second gym, then the third, you know, like, it felt like you progressed. This game doesn't really feel like you progress, you know? Like, I don't feel accomplished when I, you know, got the challenge ticket and you know, upped my rank. You know, I really did not feel accomplished at all. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I could progress the story. That's exactly what happened to me. Like, because I'm just walking around, you know, exploring the city, catching Pokemon, doing shit. And I'm just like, oh, I guess I could just progress the story now. I mean, you know. And there's even a point in the game where you jump from, like, rank V to rank, like, what is it, F or G or something? I think rank F, yeah. So, the people making the game even knew how monotonous it was. They knew it. My favorite characters are, of course, let's see. I gotta name them now. Vinny. He's my boy. Love him. Vinny. Tarragon. He's hilarious. Love him. I'd say Corbeau is the best written character in the game. I liked him. I like his plot line. I think he's very well written. LeBane. I like LeBane, even though she's like Jasim's kinky like little slave. I think it's funny that she's a dragon trainer and she lost to the fairy type trainer, and now who's also some rich bitch, and now she is like being forced to work for her. I mean, I just think it's just stupid. Like, it's just stupid. But I love how LeBane is like, I love her actual personality. How she's like a, you know, she's just ghetto. You know, that girl that fights. You don't fuck with her. You know, but she's being controlled by this like fucking retarded looking rich bitch. Like, what? And then I like Lita. You know, I think Lita's actually, she's probably one of the most real characters in the game. And I like that she's Tyrannus' sister. She's definitely one of the better characters. It's just that they did her dirty in this one scene. I recorded it on my Switch. You're probably seeing it right now. Where she's just like standing there, staring with this terrible wave animation. It's absolutely terrible. Like, oh my god, man. Like, the animations for the characters are the same animations they've been using since the 3DS. Like, not that animation. I don't remember that one. But I don't know what that wasn't even the animation. But the fucking fist bump animation you see throughout this entire game, the characters don't even touch their knuckles. They don't even touch knuckles. It's ridiculous. Like, you're gonna make everybody fist bump each other, but you're not even gonna make their knuckles touch? What the fuck kind of lazy shit is that? Fucking Game Freak, what the fuck are you doing? The move animations look nice in the game. When it came to the people, nah, just recycle. Reuse, reduce, recycle, right? That's what they want us to do. Holy shit. And then of course the graphics. Oh my god, like come on with the fucking PNGs and JPEGs. Like what the fuck, man? You kidding me? You couldn't even model a fucking window? Like, ugh. Anyway, back to the characters. Tawny. Listen, when I first saw Tawny, I'm like, this character's hot, man. Urbane, I was a guy. I'm a guy, so I did not have him. It's the same character, I'm sure, pretty much. Tawny, you know, hot character, you know, but she's a fucking retard, man. Like, fuck that bitch. Like, she's one of the worst characters in the entire game. And they try to make her like your rival. I fight her like 3 times. Like, what? What kind of rival's that? You know, and like, she's a bitch. Every problem in this fucking game is her. It's her. It's her. She is the issue, man. Oh my god. Fuck this bitch. And then her whole story arc, how she's trying to find somebody in Lumio City. Oh, really? Really? And that person just happened to be the CEO of the big company. Wow. That's her grandma. Like, I didn't see that coming, not at all. Especially not with the scene where the CEO Jet literally goes, "Hey, where did you get that jacket?" Like, because her mom gave her the jacket, and I'm just like, like this is so obvious. Like, what you like? This is not a mystery, man. They spent the whole time. It's so stupid. And then like she gets you in trouble with the Rust Syndicate. She fucking causes you so much mischief, forces you to join her fucking stupid team that she doesn't even actively participate in because she's off doing some other shit. Like she's some hero. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Who are you? I kick your ass. Every time, acting like she's gonna beat me each time. It's like, bro, I fucking kick your ass every time. What the fuck are you doing? Like, can we stop making these characters that believe they can beat us, but they really can't because we're the overpowered player character who just entered their life and ruined it. God, at least make it realistic. Like, at least in Sword and Shield, Hop was fucking realistic. You beat him every time and he fucking got more and more depressed, you know? At least that was fucking realistic. Like, come on. And then Naveen, I hate him. He's a fucking retard too. You know, he's just a fucking ass. Get the fuck out of here. Like, who the hell are you? Like, who the hell are you? He's like, I'm not gonna eat that. I can't eat that. I'm better than you. I'm better than that, you know? Like, I can't. I'm above, like, everybody. You know, and it's just like, I kick your ass, man, and you don't do shit. Lila is the only real one. Like, I like her. Jacinth is, Jacinth. You like her, and you don't like her. You know, Jacinth is like, I don't like her design. Her design is hard. I don't like her design. I don't like the whole, like, you know, like, oh, like, you know. But it's kind of funny. It's funny how she, like, you know, is passive aggressive and, like, you know, tries to, like, use her power, like, her money power, her financial power to fucking do shit. But it's just like, you know, like, her as a character is just annoying at the same time. Like, the way she talks and everything, it's just like, So yeah, she's like that. And then I hate Kanari. Can we please stop with these fucking live stream characters? Please stop. I don't want no streamers in my Pokemon games. That's too real of a thing, you know? Like, and this one was a gamer. And it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? No, like, that's too real, you know? Like, we're gamers. We're people playing this game. And you're telling me there's someone in the game who streams games. Can we not do that? Like, and also she's another electric type trainer, just like Iono. Iono, what the fuck her name is. I hated that bitch too. This one, you know, Kanari, she's a little bit better than her, but still, like, fucking, no. Can we just stop? And then I like Tarragon though, because how he was pretending to be her on the hologram. I wish, I saw this on Instagram, someone posted like, oh, I wish that, like, Tarragon was just was Kanari, and I think that would have been a much better plot line. That would have been so much better. Like, if the streamer everybody loved was just an old guy pretending to be her, that would be awesome. And then they could have made it like he was posing as his granddaughter because his granddaughter ended up dying, but they didn't want to make it a big deal, you know, so he took over, like, the streams. Like, that would have just been, like, sad but funny at the same time, you know. And I love Tarragon. You know, he's just, I love my old characters. Like, they're just hilarious. But then, like, you know, Felipe is just there, and then Ivor and Gwen, whatever the fuck her name is, she they're just there too. They're kind of just annoying, honestly. I don't, you know, they don't really do anything. So they're very one-dimensional characters. So yeah. And a lot of the plot in this game doesn't really have anything to do with what the fuck is going on. It's all just, like, these stupid side missions with these characters, you know? And I'm just like, why? You know, it was honestly kind of boring. I'm just like, why is this the story? Like, this is the plot? Like, this is the story? Like, what are we doing, man? You know? And then all of a sudden, things get, like, serious. You know, like, oh. You know, oh, Rogue Mega Pokemon. I don't like the whole thing with, like, the characters. Like, I think, I don't know. It just seemed kind of random to me, and that's the thing with this game. It's a lot of random events, you know. They don't really connect, you know, really, until, like, the end. Yeah. But then again, they don't even connect. Everyone just helps you out when shit goes bonkers. And then I like the team. I like how there's Team Flare people. You know, I mean, there are people who we never heard of in Team Flare before, but, you know, I like how they brought Team Flare into it, and how they were working the cafe. You know, like, it was pretty obvious. They tried to make it be like something like a surprise, but no, it was you know, it's obvious. Like, obviously they were a part of Team Flare. Like, look at the fucking crest on the shit. But and then Emma, they could have used a lot more. I think they did Emma dirty in this. Emma should have been used a lot more, and actually, they should have had way more old characters in this game. Like, how could you? That's such a missed opportunity. You could have brought so many old characters, you know? Even if it's just a cameo, you know? Like, yes, we had Emma, we had AZ, we had Lysander, which was cool. We had the bitch from the scientist from Team Flare, which, I don't know. But characters like Professor Sycamore should have been in the game. At the end, he should have came back, taken over the lab again, you know. We actually got to see him. Diantha should have been in the game. some of the gym leaders, like Clement especially, because he was the gym in Lumiose City, but apparently Lumiose Tower is not a gym anymore. I don't know. Or Bonnie, it would have been nice to see Bonnie a little bit older. She probably would have been the same age as our character, actually. So it would have been cool to see her like actually play a part, but she didn't. I very missed up. The friends like Tyrano, Shauna, Trevor, somebody like it would have made more sense for Trevor to be taking over the Pokemon research lab. You know, like I don't know. They should have brought some more characters, and yeah, we're getting Karina in the DLC, but I'll talk about that later. But Karina, again, should have been in the game already, right? So these characters should have been in, and even if they're just at the end, like at post game, like you get to fight them in the Z-A Royale or something. And speaking of the story, 2 characters like who had a huge part in it were Lysander and AZ, and I like what they did with both of them. I like how Lysander was saved by Zygarde. Well, I think that's a little strange, but he was saved by Zygarde, but he still had suffered the effects of the weapon. I don't know how he was saved by Zygarde then, but Lysander now is going to live. He's basically like immortal, like AZ, right? He's going to live a long-ass time. He got amnesia, of course, but that seemed to have faded by the end of the game. But I do think they could have used him more. I feel like yeah, they kept him like mysterious, like okay. But he didn't really play a role. He didn't really play like, yeah, he collected the Zygarde cells, but to me, I think we should have been doing it. Because we're collecting a bunch of shit in this game. So we should have been collecting the Zygarde cells, not Lysander. I feel like they just kind of did that to make him have some sort of part, some sort of job, And then AZ, his story came to a nice close. But yeah, like with the story-wise, like the Rogue Mega Evolution, I thought it was a cool concept. I like the concept of Mega Evolution just happening, because we have Rayquaza, right? Who could just Mega Evolve, because he knows a move. That's it. He knows a move and he can Mega. He doesn't need no stone, none. I hate that they call it Mega Power, but the fact that a Pokemon can be so overloaded with it that they just Mega Evolve on their own and they suffer because of it, because, it's, they're going past their limits. And without the bond of a trainer, it's probably, it probably harms them a bit more because they're taking it all upon themselves. I think that's a really cool concept, and I like the boss battles that they had, like they're not hard, they're not overly hard or nothing, but yeah, I like them. I do. It's better than throwing bombs of food at the fucking giant, like it's way better than that. So it's a good concept. I like the concept of Lumiose Tower being another thing AZ built. I think they kind of just pulled it out of their ass, but it kind of makes sense because he built something this time that was supposed to give to the people instead of taking, which is what the ultimate weapon did. It took life. This is supposed to give it, I think it's nice to have that counterpart, and like having Lumiose Tower actually Prism Tower, I forget its name. Prism Tower being an actual part of history, of the Kalos history, like an even more important part of the story as well. It just, that's a cool idea. I liked, Floette. I liked how Floette combines, a Mega Floette. Okay, I was surprised by that. I'm like, nice, okay. And then Floette combines with the tower, like she's supposed to connect with it, but then shit goes, doesn't go the way it's supposed to, and the tower turns into this like hybrid plant, flower monster, like it's like something not Pokemon at all, It reminded me of like Eternatus and like the Ultra Beast, where like they just it doesn't feel like Pokemon, but like it kind of works because it's just so weird and so different, And I really liked the concept, but I hated how it played out. The final boss, which is basically, well, the real final boss, I guess, is Zygarde, but the final boss of this main story is you against this tower with Zygarde. But before that, you have to go through this whole fucking thing where you have to get from one side of the city to the other, and all the people you met have to help you. And you fight rogue Mega Evolved Pokemon, except it's more like just a regular battle. And there's this one part, so stupid, where like the Rust Syndicate forgot to put up a ladder. So what did they do? I thought this to myself. I'm like, please, no, don't tell me they're gonna make it. What are they gonna do? Make a human ladder? Like I said, like a joke. And then they ended up making a human ladder. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, at that point, I was like holding my head. I'm like, what the fuck is this game? Oh my god. Like, it's just so retarded. I'm like, what? Why? Why? Like, they're trying too hard. I don't know what they're doing, man. Oh my god. But yeah, and then when you finally team up with Zygarde, right? There's some cool cutscenes making Zygarde complete form looking so cool. You know? Zygarde, you know, he's flying around, he's shooting the tower. And then you know what you're doing? It's like, oh, okay. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. We're gonna be able to control Zygarde and attack. And it's just like, nope. You're on the ground. There's these two flowers that sprout out of the tower. And you have to just hit them until they die. And then that you have to do that 3 times. And in between each of those times, you get to click a move that Zygarde uses. Ooh. Like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What kind of boss is that? That's nothing. That's bullshit. Like, what the I didn't do shit. I didn't do shit. I just sat there and spammed my moves on these flowers. I didn't do fucking anything. It was one of the worst, like, final bosses I've ever fucking had. Like, ever. Like, what is that? Like, there was such a huge opportunity for us to control Zygarde and fly around the tower, shooting it with shit, and then until we get our big boy move, and then we hit them with the fucking move, you know? Like, we could have rode on the back of Zygarde or something. That would have been so cool. And then when we finally Mega Evolve him, and he gets his giant cum cannon, you know, like his giant penis above his head. Literally looks like a penis, like it does. And it's just like, we could have like used that as our super ultra mega ultimate move. Which, I don't know why Zygarde needs a Mega Stone. I feel like they should have just made it so Zygarde could just Mega Evolve with a move like Rayquaza. So it kind of shows that Rayquaza is better than Zygarde, just saying. But the first green snake better than the second one. You know, okay, Mega Zygarde. I mean, he has a giant cannon. I don't know why they decided to do that for the Mega. But yeah, you know, you shoot your fucking super laser piss into the tower and you stop it at the end. But it's just like, we could have been such a more active part of that final battle, because it was barely even a final battle. Like, what the fuck was that? So yeah, a lot of cool concepts, a lot of good ideas, very poor execution, which has been Pokemon's thing lately. You know, good concepts, good ideas, very poor execution, very bad, not good. Not good at all. So yeah, it kind of sucked, you know. I was like, the climax was very underwhelming. Yeah, I was not happy. And then AZ, you know, like you win the day. AZ, you know, he's very satisfied, very thankful, and then he ends up dying. And you know what? I called that from the start. I'm like, AZ's gonna die. He's gonna die. It just makes sense, you know. And I'm glad that we were able to end his story. I like that, you know. I like that he felt good enough where he can move on, you know, because he felt the whole game. He talks about his guilt and how he always felt this guilt, you know, for what he created all those years and did all those years ago. I love his big grave. It was an emotional moment, but could have been even more emotional if they did it better, you know, because he kind of just, they don't really show him dying. He says like his goodbyes, you know, to himself, and then after the credits, you just see a tomb, like a cemetery. You're in the cemetery and you see his fucking tomb, and it's just like, oh, so he did die. And I'm just like, he died? Oh. So he did die. I think they could have made like a done it better. I would have liked to see like the funeral, like during the credits, you know, almost like how they had the cutscene at the end of X and Y, you know, at the ceremony. Instead of a ceremony, I would have liked to see a funeral, which a funeral is a ceremony. It's a ceremony. To me, a funeral is a ceremony to celebrate the life of the person who just passed. And I think they should have done something like that. But they're lazy, so they're not gonna do something like that. They can't even fucking make a title screen. Yeah, like, again, it's just unfortunate. Like, there's just so much missed potential. They could have done so much more. They could have made you feel... They could have made you feel like you were actually a part of what was going on, you know? Because not only does it make sense, like, your character has no motivation to do anything that he does in this game. You know? There is no motivation at all. At least in other Pokemon games, you know, the evil team, whatever the fuck's going on, they're a nuisance, so you take care of them, you know what I mean? Like, but in this game, it's just like, Tawny is the nuisance, you know? She is the nuisance. She got you, dragged you into your shit, and for some reason, and the game can't make you say no. So, you're stuck doing all this shit for no reason. And I was excited for this game because I wanted to, you know, we were back in Kalos, a region we know about, you know, a region we know, and I wanted to feel like I was home and like we were, like, this game was a part of the rest of the Pokemon world, because, like, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet have nothing from the old Pokemon games in it. No characters, no nothing. And I wanted to feel like, since we're in Kalos, I wanted to feel like I'm back in Kalos, you know what I mean? And yeah, you see some of the old characters and stuff, like AZ, you know, some of the story and stuff, but it's just like, you know, it missed the mark on just so many aspects, you know, so many points. And then the post game, oh my god, the post game. They had a mission, like, you know, you meet Lysander. There's a mission with Xerneas and Yveltal. They did Xerneas and Yveltal very, very dirty, very dirty. I was really pissed about that. They didn't even make them a boss battle. They could have made it like the Rogue Mega Evolutions, or like the final Zygarde battle. They could have made Xerneas and Yveltal, but no. You just fight them like regular wild Pokemon. They play the same theme that's from X and Y. They didn't even remix it. I know they remixed it for Zygarde, but they didn't even, like, at least, like, redo it, you know? And yeah, like, Xerneas and Yveltal were treated very poorly. Whereas in Legends Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina all had a major role. Xerneas and Yveltal just kind of appeared, you caught them, and that's that. You know, it's just like, what? Come on, man. Like, at least have, like, Xerneas and Yveltal, they're both getting attracted to the city, right? Have them fight, and, like, you have to team up with Zygarde again, you know? Or Zygarde's too weak or something, right? And you have to find his cells, or, like, quickly, or you have to, you know, like, he has to stay in his 10% form, and you have to fight alongside him, like, to stop Xerneas and Yveltal from doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Like, they could have done something totally original, something cool. Nope. Go catch them. Just go catch them. They're just regular Pokemon, right? They're not legendaries. They're not box legendaries, you know? They're not the legendaries of life and death. Just go fucking catch them. Which, yeah, I know they have the highest catch rates of, like, all the legendaries. I get it. You know, they're very easy to catch, but that's all the more reason why they should have made them boss battles. I was very pissed about that, and I still am. And then, I didn't know this, you know? So I'm here sitting, okay, because, like, the main mission says you have to do the Infinite ZA Royale. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay. And I looked up how to make that the main mission go away. Oh, you have to do it 20 times. Okay, so I'm thinking here, oh, okay, so after 20 times, I must be able to fight Zygarde. So I'm sitting here, I'm doing it 20 times. I get to 15. There's the whole thing with Tawny finding out Jet is her grandma. And then she gives you fight Tawny one last time, and she gives you Floette. Right? It's like, oh, okay, Floette. But I had to sit there and do the same shit. I had to battle trainers, get the challenge ticket, challenge the trainer to rank up, and I had to do that 15 times just to get Floette. And then I'm like, I have to do this 5 more times to get Zygarde? I was already done. I was done after doing that shit 5 times. You know, I was already fucking done, man. And I'm sitting here, I get to 20, nothing happens. I'm like, what the fuck? What? And then I look up how to get Zygarde because they don't tell you shit. And it's like, oh, you have to, after catching Xerneas and Yveltal, you have to go back to the Hotel Z, which I never go there because there's no reason to go there. So, and then you fight, and then you talk to Lysander, and then you're able to catch Zygarde. So it's just like, oh, so I go there, I fight Lysander. He has a really cool redemption sort of theme song. I really like what they did. I love Lysander's theme, one of my favorites. Zygarde appears and he's like, hey, yo, I want to challenge you. You know, meet me in the Wild Zone 20, right? And then you go to Wild Zone 20 and then you fight Zygarde, right? So I'm just like, okay. So I did not have to do any of it. I could have gotten Zygarde right after I caught Xerneas and Yveltal. I just didn't fucking know. So here I am with my Pokemon level 100 already, you know? And I'm fighting Zygarde and I did die. I'm sure you're seeing the gameplay right now. I died like twice. Cause like he hit me with some moves and I'm just, oh shit, you know, like he got me, you know? And the boss fight, ow, I bit my tongue. The boss fight was really cool. It was really cool. You fight him 10%, then he upgrades to 50. You fight him then, and then he upgrades again to perfect, and then he slowly walks towards you. It's kind of, it's like, oh shit, get away from me, you know? Like he's slowly just walking towards you while eating your Pokemon's attacks, you know? And it's just like, he wants you, bro. He wants to kill you. He wants to kill you. He doesn't give two shits about you, Pokemon. That's so cool. I love that. Like, I wish they did that with the other Pokemon, because like they just treated Xerneas and Yveltal like bags of shit, like Garbodor, you know, on the side of the fucking street. Like, what the fuck? That would have been so cool to have a boss fight like that. That was a really cool boss fight, and much better than the other two times you fight Zygarde, because you fight his 10% form, you know, in front of the hotel. Okay, like easy peasy, one shot him with an ice beam, you know, and then you fight him again in the Jasim tournament. Like, what the fuck? You know, like that's one of the worst spots they could put him. Like, why would I be fighting him here? How did he even get in? You know, like he took the elevator, like with Lysander. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and you fight him in 50%, mind you. So he's in big snake mode. You know, it's like, what the fuck? in a fucking rich hotel. And you know what that is? That's also laziness, because they're like, you know what? We have this Jasim tournament. How about we just shove Zygarde into it? You know, let's just shove Zygarde into there. Then we don't have to set up a separate event that happens somewhere else in the city. They're already fighting. You know, they could just fight Zygarde and move on. You know, it's just like, that's what they did. I know. You think I don't fucking know? Come on. I'm a creator myself. I fucking know. Okay? That's exactly what they did. Such lazy bullshit. So that was bullshit. So having that final fight was nice, because it's like, okay, they actually, you know, put some thought into this fight, thankfully. But yeah, it did not compare to fighting Volo and then fighting Giratina 2 times, you know, and you not being able to heal. You know, I thought they were gonna do something like that again, because everybody loved that. That was great. That was like an actual challenge. No. Like, you know, Zygarde, you know, like he had some surprise moves that hit me, and I didn't know how to dodge them, so they killed me, you know. But that was really it. Like, besides that, I did it 3 times, and I caught him. It was cool though, and his theme song was awesome, especially the final one when the choir came in. And then, you know, the online. I've talked about the online already in my other video, but the online, you know, it's fun. It's nice, you know. It's fun to have a battle royale where you could just attack anybody, and you know, I guess because they haven't figured out how to make it kind of competitive, you know, well, like one-on-one. Yeah, the online's fun. I mean, I don't like how they're putting Mega Stones behind it. I think that's just dumb. But I'm kind of glad that Baxcalibur, right, is behind it, because I'm not getting that DLC. And while I'm here, I'll talk about it. It looks retarded. You know, it's just the same game. It's just the same thing, the same map, just black and white. Like, okay, wow, you could go past level 100. Oh, man. You can catch all these new Pokemon. Oh, man. Karina's in there. Oh, man. There's going to be new Megas. Oh, shit. You know, like, again, like, Hoopa, donut making simulator, like, it's fucking stupid. I'm not paying $30 for a donut simulator. No thanks. Not doing it. Especially when, one, they announced this before the game even came out, which is already scummy, and locking Megas behind it already, right? With the announcement, Mega Raichu, 2 of them. It's $30, and then, which is half the game. There's barely any, like, you're barely doing anything new, you know? Like, it would have been cooler if, like, you took Hoopa portals to other parts of Kalos, and that's how they get other parts of Kalos into this game. But this DLC is not DLC. That's the thing. This was made before the game released. This should have been in the game, but it wasn't, because they wanted to sell it as DLC. This should have been the post game in the game already. And that is the biggest reason why I'm not buying it. Because it should have already been here. It should have already been there in the game. Because it's bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. It's a bunch of bullshit. You know? I'm tired of this DLC kick that Pokemon is on. I really am. We did not need DLC for this game. You want some DLC for your Gen 10, Gen 9? Yeah, okay, fine. Do that. You know? Don't sell DLC for this game. Like, come on. It should have been a free update. Because it should have already been in the game. That's what I say about that. It's very scummy. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I already didn't like that I had to pay $10 for the upgrade, the Switch 2 upgrade, but I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, you know, like I had a smooth experience. It didn't look crusty, you know, didn't look blurry. There was no frame drops, no lag. You know, I saw some frame drops in the background, but like when I was playing, no frame, nothing. It was a very nice experience, and I'm glad I paid $10 because I would not want to play the regular Switch version, because I haven't really seen it, but it probably plays like shit, and I'm glad I just spent the $10 for me, for my own experience. I hated that I gave him more money. I hated that I did that, but I did it for my own experience, and I think it would have been way worse. But yeah, you know, Legends Z-A, it's a real good time. It's fun. But only really because of the real-time battle system. You take that away, and the game is dog shit. Honestly. The game would have been boring and dog shit if you took the real-time battle system away. That is the only thing. And I guess the new Megas, but honestly, they're really not that exciting. It's like, okay, cool, new Megas, you know? That's really it. I get excited if it's a Pokemon I really like, but, you know, of course I am. Why wouldn't I? This game would have been terrible, you know, if they didn't do something different. So I'm glad they did something different. It saved this game. It really did. Because it could have been so much more. It could have had so much more detail. It could have been much grander of a game, of an experience, you know. And again, it's Pokemon, Game Freak, whoever the fuck, and it's what they're doing, you know. And this could just be a whole nother video. I'm not even gonna get into it, but it's the way that they're handling games that made this game suffer, and it's very unfortunate. I hope I talked about everything. I'm not sure what I did, if I did, but I talked about a whole lot of shit because this is over an hour long. So I don't know how long this is gonna be. So I just want to thank whoever is here at the end and actually listened or watched both, whatever the fuck, this. So I appreciate you for appreciating me and my thoughts and my opinions. I guess I could do a little score thing. I mean, I don't like the score stuff, but I have my own personal thing that I do, and my own personal ratings is usually out of 5. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. It's good. It's mid. You know, it's mid, but it's a good kind of mid. You know, it's the good kind of mid. It's not like the shitty kind of mid, you know. It's a good time, you know. It's a good time. Is it fun? Yeah. I think you'd have a fun time if you're into the battle system. If you're not, though, then you won't have a fun time. I would say if you're gonna choose a Pokemon game to buy on Switch, buy Legends Arceus. Buy that game because it's still better than this one.